Hello and welcome, my dear friends. Today I am going to explain how to make a collapsible tree structure using HTML and CSS. I'm not going to define and describe what is tree data structure. For that, there is another video. So let's start. The base of this tree structure is using lists. So let's create a simple list. This is a very simple unordered list we can make using HTML UL tag. Now let's run into a browser to see how it looks like. In web browser we can see the list when executed looks like this with the default square bullet points and circle bullet points. Here the root node is basic elements and it has three child nodes, data types, literals, and format models. Again, data type has three leaf nodes, literals had some leaf nodes. But this list or tree structure is not collapsible. So let's make it by adding details and summary tags. Here the browser implements the details tag as a disclosure widget with the ability to expand and collapse. By default, the widget is closed, so we use open attribute to expand. The summary tag is used to define a visible heading for the details tag. Now let's run in the browser to see the output. Now the list has the collapsible feature enabled with the help of details and summary tags. But here the default bullet points and disclosure arrow gives confusing user interface. So let's make it stylish with CSS, cascading style sets. We put CSS codes in style tag. The layout of the tree is controlled by spacing and radius. Spacing controls the line height of the text. Radius controls the size of the marker. Display is block type so that it will removes the bullet points from the lists. Position is given relative, which establishes a new stacking context and containing blocks which will use to position the lines and markers. Padding left provides the left indentation. Margin left used to compensate the left indentation, and padding left 0, which means it will remove the default padding if any added by the browser. Let's look at how it is rendered in the browser. Here There is a slight change in the indentation and default bullet points have been removed. Let's see the previous. Spacing is not as per our requirement. So in the next screen, we can see it is as per our requirement and those bullet points have been removed. So far, so good. Now let's add the vertical and horizontal lines to this tree. We add these codes, highlighted codes, to add a vertical and horizontal lines. Here, border left creates the vertical line and border color transparent hides for the final item in each list. These two lines generate an empty block. Position top and left. These three lines position it to the start of the preceding line of the text, overlapping the vertical line to its left. Width and height parameters set the size of the block, whereas border and width creates the border on the left and bottom sides of the block. Let's run the code and see how does it look like in the web browser. Great. Now we can see the vertical lines and horizontal lines. Now let's remove the default styling and widget disclosure. In this section, we are going to remove default styling from summaries, which will be done by this highlighted code. Cursor pointer is used to change the shape of the pointer, and this part will remove the disclosure arrows. Let's run and see how it appears in web browser. As we can see, the disclosure arrows is removed, and here the cursor has changed to a pointer shape, which indicates that the summary is a clickable object. Next, we create markers. This code we will use to create the marker. For now, we create markers for both parent and child nodes. Content and display. This generates a block. Position top left as previous. Position the block. Width, height sets the size of the block. Border radius, background. Style it as a circle with gray background. Text alignment is put center so that when we put some content within that marker, that will be positioned as center. Let's run this code. As we can see, this small circle with gray background is appearing. And finally, we add plus to expand and minus to collapse by this code. Here, Z index causes the button to be displayed on top of the marker. The background is set yellow in color. The content which is plus will appear in color black. This is the color code for black, and font size will be 10 pixel. When marker is open, the content changes to minus by this code. Now applying this styling produces the final layout of the tree. Let's say, great, we achieved the final layout as expected. Let's recap what we have learned. First, we created simple list, nested list. Second, we created collapsible list using details and summary elements. Then we use CSS to give proper indentation. Then we created vertical and horizontal lines. Then we removed disclosure arrows and added cursor pointers. Then we created markers for each node. And finally, we added plus and minus signs to the parent nodes. So finally, we get what we wanted. That's all for now, guys. Keep learning, keep growing. Bye bye.